Free food, recreational facilities, a $2,000 annual travel stipend, and even coverage for gender affirmation surgeries for employees. These are just some of the lavish benefits that tech giants like Google, Netflix, Airbnb, and Pandora use to offer their workers. But it seems this has come to an end.
Google, Amazon, and Snap are among the companies continuing to downsize.
From eBay to Google and now SAP, it's been a brutal January for thousands of local tech workers.
This week alone, about a dozen major companies announced job cuts.
The layoffs in technology just keep coming. The latest, Google cutting hundreds of jobs.
18,000 employees will be let go, almost twice as many as Amazon was planning.
Other companies announcing layoffs so far this year include BlackRock, Universal Music Group, Duolingo, and the messaging platform Discord.
So far in 2024, about 75,000 tech workers have been laid off, and this number is increasing. So why is working for a big tech company no longer a dream job? In recent decades, the tech industry has been synonymous with innovation, explosive growth, and extraordinary benefits for its employees. These companies not only transformed their respective fields, but also redefined the employment expectations of an entire country.
We reported last week that Fortune magazine has named Google the best company to work for in America again. About 2.5 million people send their resumes to the high-tech giant every year.
Number one is Google, and they've been number one before. They were number one last year. They continue to make Google a great place to work.
This era, often referred to as the golden age of technology, marked a period of optimism and unprecedented expansion. However, recent changes in the global economy and the very nature of the industry have meant that working for a tech giant is no longer what it used to be.
There's no question artificial intelligence will remake the workplace.
Artificial intelligence could replace millions of jobs.
AI could replace 300 million full-time jobs.
After the financial crisis of 2008, the U.S. Federal Reserve slashed interest rates to near zero levels, keeping them there for years. This low-cost capital environment allowed both tech startups and established giants to expand rapidly. Netflix, for example, saw its stock value increase by over 4,000% during this decade.
It was on this day back then when the company posted the highest first quarter profit in its thin 8-year history.
For 25 years, one company changed the landscape of film and TV forever, with revenue and subscriber base growing a whopping average of more than 30% a year.
Today, it boasts about 270 million paid subscribers and rakes in more than $30 billion in revenue a year.
The widespread adoption of smartphones and social media, along with easy access to venture capital, created fertile ground for innovation and growth. The tech-heavy NASDAQ reflected this expansion with an astounding approximate increase of 347% from 2010 to 2019. However, companies were not the only beneficiaries. Working at one of these tech companies became a way to get rich. Employees often received a significant portion of their compensation in stock options. As tech stocks rose, workers increasingly enriched themselves.
In 2020, the top 350 CEOs in the U.S. made over $24 million on average.
CareerSite compiled a list of America's 15 highest-paying companies, but tech companies dominated the list with 9 of the 15 places, including Netflix at number 2 and Google at 13.
However, the onset of the COVID-19 pandemic marked a turning point for the industry. Initially, many tech companies benefited from an approximately 125% increase in demand for digital services and software as people stayed home and remote work peaked.
More than 44 million Americans have filed for unemployment since mid-March, when the coronavirus pandemic forced many people to stay home. But despite the ongoing economic turmoil and increased number of businesses shutting down, the country's 5 biggest tech companies are growing and investing in the future.
But the prolonged impact of the pandemic, along with rising interest rates in 2022, began to erode the stability of this sector. Layoffs became a common strategy to maintain profitability in the face of fluctuating demand and rising operational costs. Giants like Google, Microsoft, and fintech startups such as Block and PayPal implemented significant workforce reductions of around 35%. Indeed, more and more companies have adopted efficiency as a common mantra in recent earnings calls. For example, A memo sent by Elon Musk to the staff at X detailed that the company would cut more than 10% of its global workforce.
Thousands of Twitter employees are being laid off as Elon Musk overhauls the company.
A new chapter has begun at Twitter, and for half the people who work there, they will not be part of it.
It's a Twitter bloodbath. Nearly 4,000 fired in one fell swoop. Half the global workforce.
Apple was the first major company to begin layoffs due to the shutdown of its autonomous car project, laying off about 600 specialized workers. This was followed by companies like Amazon, which is cutting about 5% of jobs in its cloud computing division. Although massive layoffs in technology continue to dominate the headlines. According to the government, the labor market remains strong with an unemployment rate dropping to 3.8%. According to the U.S. Bureau of Labor Statistics, the U.S. economy added 303,000 jobs in March, well above the Dow Jones estimate of an increase of 200,000.
The U.S. economy remained strong enough last month to create 263,000 new jobs. The unemployment rate fell to 3.5%, but that was after the labor force shrank.
Americans are worried about their job security despite continued historically low unemployment. According to a new study from MarketWatch, a full 70% of employees are bracing for layoffs in some way.
A popular free job posting site for college students and graduates showed that job applications from technology students sent to internet and software companies fell by more than 30% between November 2021 and September 2023, while the proportion of applications sent to government jobs grew by 112%. Continuous layoffs and economic uncertainty have altered the perception of the tech industry as a field of secure opportunities and steady growth. With 25% of Americans saying that the tech sector is no longer stable, the future of work in tech companies is now perceived as an industry susceptible to the same challenges as any other sector.
For a long time, these tech companies felt like almost the safest place to work. Employees were well looked after, well compensated, great perks, and suddenly that's been turned on its head.
Although the prestige of working in a tech company remains a factor to consider, recent layoffs and market volatility have led many to reconsider their career options, seeking stability in sectors like government or in industries less susceptible to rapid economic fluctuations. As we move forward, the tech industry faces a period of introspection and recalibration. While the days of generous benefits may have waned, the sector continues to offer significant growth promise for those willing to navigate its challenges. With a compound annual growth rate of 5%, the tech sector remains an attractive job opportunity for Americans.
If we spoke to any college kid today, they would love to work at Google.
Technology continues to be a field of vital importance, central to innovation and progress in almost every aspect of modern life. The challenge for big tech companies is not simply to return to the days of rapid growth, but to maintain their relevance and appeal in a world that increasingly values sustainability, ethics, and stability.
At Economy Media, your opinion matters to us. Subscribe and let us know what you think in the comments below.